Hey Kevin, this is Jonathan. You've done really well in your swing here. Remember, your major complaint was getting the ball slicing in the air, and you can see why that was. You know, the club is really coming from a long way outside and across the ball, and obviously that puts slice spin on it. You know, when we look at it in detail here, you can see at the start, you know, your hands are kind of disconnecting away from you at the start, which gets the club on a kind of outward track and a track that's going to be too upright on the way back here. If you look at your new one, you know, we've kept the hands much closer to you. We put a little head cover there to help you with the start and help you with the path coming into the ball, which we'll come into in a minute. But you see how your hands are staying much more on that circle at the start, which really sets the tone and the path and the plane for things on the way back here. So now in your old one, you know, you've got to kind of just lift this thing to the top and collapse the club behind you. You can see how your right arm gets very collapsed at the top here. There's no support in the club. And that really, when we look from the front, would lean your upper body kind of towards the target. If you look at this new one here, we've turned your upper body away from the target and really tried to keep your right arm much straighter. So as a result, we get a much better balanced look with that club at the top. The body's really carrying the arms and the right arm's really supporting the club much better. And when you think these are only a couple of minutes apart, these two swings, that's an excellent change. And I know you haven't been playing golf very long, so it really is good awareness of what you're doing. Now, watch, this is the key move here. You can see in your old one, the upper body would start towards the target. And that really creates this steepness. It's called leaning into the shot. This new one, your key thought was to shift your lower body towards the target and keep your head back. Watch what difference and effect that has on the plane of your swing. That little shift with the head staying back, all of a sudden now the club is shallower, it's less from the outside. You can see how you've made what's called a transition in your swing, where you've really allowed the club to shallow out and getting to what's called a little slot coming down here. So the club's much more on the inside, the path's going to be much more to the right, and the angle of attack is going to be much more up. Both are desirable for you to hit it with a draw and for you to hit the ball further. So you can see a substantial difference there in a few minutes. You can see the angle of attack on this one is going down into the ground and onto the ball, and the path's going way left, and that's what's going to create this curve that you don't want. When you look at this one here, it's much more from the inside, it's much more up, and then you can see how the ball starts a little more on target and has got a little bit more draw on it, rather than this one here where it's just slicing off to the left and trying to come back. So, you know, quite a remarkable change in a very short period of time. And I know you've only been playing a couple of years, so that really is very good spatial awareness. Remember, your key thought is hands close, move your chest away from your target, down over your right knee, and then shift your lower body towards the target. Three little thoughts turned into one little feel. Great job.